when I got sober, I remember you came in and you had a couple days sober and people would talk about having low self-esteem and the guys with some time would be like, well, then do esteemable acts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have such access to so many new books and self-help and all these things, and people become affirmation machines. I'm like, you're a walking bumper sticker, my G. So what's actionable that people can really do? I love that you talk about that can, help start that path in 2026.
Information just makes you smart. You can know exactly what you need to do. The secret in life is
two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A mother's dream, premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine. It's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the good guys, we're not the great guys. We're just the good guys. Whoa.
Mazel Morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. We are here with best-selling author, a mother to all of us, the great Mel Robbins. An honor
Josh,
to have you on the pod.
Do you see this book? Do you see? This is, I don't even know what color green this is. This is the perfect green.
Oh, it
the
pops.
Lepton theory.
It
Mel
pops.
Robbins. We're here with, you said, I don't know what to call myself. The Queen? Is that a good way to describe yourself?
No.
Okay, no.
No, I don't know how to describe myself. I definitely would not use mother to all of us because my children do not listen to me. So I don't want, I've got 3 children. That's plenty.
Okay. Well, we're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Big fans.
Thank you.
We're live in studio. Josh is calling in. God, Josh, I wish you were here. I need you. I feel like we're going to get into a deep therapy session. And me and Josh, we get really deep. So
How long
hopefully
have you guys known
deep.
each other?
7 years.
Okay.
7 years. And it's funny. Both grew up in New York.
Uh-huh.
Different upbringings, but similar enough that just, I don't know, we have we're just very, very similar.
Chubby
and the deeper we
boys.
get, the
Chubby
more
boys.
similar we find. Yeah, chubby boys, both obese youth. That is the
That's
where
our
we
band.
first
Bonded
started.
over?
The
That's where we
obese
first
youth.
bonded. Yeah. It's our punk band.
That's hard.
Were you ever an obese youth?
Was I an obese youth?
Yeah.
I had periods of my life where I was basically a Twinkie on legs. Yes.
Got
Uh-huh.
it. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, that's why we can relate to you.
Yes.
That's why.
There you go.
People who have never been fat, they just don't get it.
No.
They don't get. I don't think that they see the world the same way as people who have been pushing 300 pounds and having to walk around in a society that really just never accepted that.
I also don't think that you realize that of all of your friends, the hardest working person who's working the hardest on their health is actually your friend who is overweight.
Yeah.
Because they think about it all the time. They feel discouraged all the time. They live in a world where, there's messaging reinforced at you. There's discrimination against you. And, I think a lot about the fact that it's easy to judge someone else and that most of us really want to thrive. And if you are living in a body where you know that you're not as healthy as you would like to be, but you feel discouraged about your ability to get there, you are working on it mentally all the time because you're thinking about it. Same thing with kids in school.
Yeah.
The hardest working kid in a classroom is the one who's failing.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to sit in a classroom and know that you're not doing well?
Yeah.
Mel, I'm dying to ask because I heard you say that on Dak Shepard's podcast, and I was thinking, I'm like, no, you know what? The ones getting all A's working pretty freaking hard. Is it different kind of work? Do you mean like it's more mental stress to be failing? Because
Yes.
I always found those kids who are getting all A's, it's not easy. They're just doing the work.
Well, it's not necessarily that they're just doing the work. For some kids, it comes very easily. And if you look at the research, it was surprising to me. We had Professor Angela Duckworth on the show, and she's this professor at Wharton and the University of Pennsylvania that wrote all that book about grit, and is this big TED Talk where she studied grit. And, what is it that separates those people that are high performers and they can really stick to something? And she came in and said, there are 4 things. And the first one, I was like, what? The first characteristic of somebody who has willpower, discipline, and grit is they like the thing they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, okay, bury the lead.
Yeah.
And so I do think that people that are really great at school, they either have tremendous pressure that they're putting on themselves to get great grades, or they like it and they're good at it, so they just naturally put in the hours to do it. But the piece, to answer your question is, I choose to believe that people want to thrive.
Yeah.
I choose to believe that people do want to do well, and that if somebody's not doing well, that there are skills that are missing, or they are so beaten down and discouraged that they are telling themselves, I'm not good at this. There's nothing I can do. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But underneath it all, if you could, and if you believed you could, you would want to be the students that's the best. You would want to feel healthy in your body. You would want to have great relationships. That deep down, we all have that desire. And if it's not happening for you, there are two main things. One is discouragement, this deep belief that there's nothing you can do about it. And if you don't believe there's anything you can do about it, or that you've tried so many times and failed, why bother? Then you won't actually try. And the second thing that can be in your way is just the skills that you need. And of course, there's larger forces at work. There are people that are born into unfair and discriminatory circumstances. There's bias in the world. There's a lot of these things that hold people back. But I do believe that through your attitude and your efforts, you can make anything about your life better over time. Not overnight, but over time. There's this incredible quote that I've been thinking a lot about lately. It's from Alice Walker, the Pulitzer Prize winning writer. She said the most common way that people give up their power is by believing they don't have any.
Yeah.
And that quote is so important to really consider, because there are things that are happening to you that are unfair.
Yeah.
There are very real obstacles in people's way. There's reasons that are going to make you stressed out and overwhelmed right now. And in fact, I think if you're overwhelmed right now in today's world, that's a mentally healthy response to what's happening,
They focus on them too, though.
Yes.
Josh and I talk about this all the time. I'm a very positive person. I wasn't like this always. I'm definitely a manifester.
Okay,
Again,
so
I wasn't like this
question?
always.
Can I
Yes.
ask you a question?
Yes.
So can we unpack
Yes.
the things that you've noticed about being the kind of person who wasn't like this always, and being kind of negative and self-defeating, or however it was that you were, versus the decision to be a positive person? Do you see what I mean?
I do. And I think it's a conscious effort in the beginning to focus on what is amazing, and slowly but surely you see that you are focused. The more you're focused on what is wrong in your life, the more things go wrong in your life. And it's a very strange, I don't know if it's karmic, I don't know what it is, but I will see people in my life that are actively depressed, or feeling that they are beaten down by the world, that there is a laundry list of this went wrong today, this went wrong today, this went wrong today. And I will notice that those same things went wrong today to me too. I just focused on all of the things that also went right today. And Josh and I actually think it's very healthy. Our main segment is called What Are You Nuts?, where we spend basically our lives making fun of just the trials and tribulations of life, the inconveniences of being on an airplane, or that shitty thing that happened to us. It is in our DNA to create levity around that. But I'm definitely a very positive person. And since being that way, my life is significantly
Was there
better.
something that happened that made you go, I'm so sick of myself that I need to change my attitude?
I think that I'm very publicly on GLP-1s. I take Zepbound. I've lost 60 pounds over the last 3 years.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
I do think that a shift in weight loss helped me mentally. I'm trying to think. My wife definitely always keeps me very positive. She's great. I don't know, Josh. I don't know why I'm asking you either. I would have to dig deeper, but I don't know what that shift was. I just know that today is significantly better than 5 years ago.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
sure.
love that. And I love that you're talking about the decision to make it a habit to look for what's going right.
Yeah.
And I have learned so much about this from the world-renowned experts on my podcast that I can explain to you, and I can cite the research for what's actually happening. Because I do believe there are two types of people in the world. There are people who wake up today and for no particular reason, they focus on what's going bad. They're in a bad mood. They feel that everything is against them. And then there are people that wake up today that have trained themselves to actively spot what's going well and to be in a good mood for no particular reason.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that anybody can learn. And there's a lot of incredible research and super smart people out there that have explained, at least on my podcast and in their work on lots of other ways that they express it, the way that your mind is wired to adjust in real time. And it's constantly taking cues from you and reinforcing what it thinks is important to you.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Durable. Folks, build your business with Durable. It's your AI partner that creates your website, writes your content, and helps you grow online. Everything you need to launch and look professional, all in one place. Folks, Durable lets you do all of this. We're talking AI builds out your website and brand instantly. Just tell it what you want it to do. And Durable handles the copy, layout, design, editing, and customization is super easy and intuitive too. No coding or design skills needed. Everything you need to launch and grow. We're talking built-in SEO, analytics, and a blog to help you get found and stay consistent online. And you can look professional fast. Includes a free custom domain, mobile-ready design, and an AI design generator for business logos, social posts, and other marketing materials. Your business all in one place. We're talking managing invoices, contracts, and updates without switching tools. Honestly, Durable is fantastic. You got to go to durable.com, durable.com/goodguys to get started with Durable for free today. When you're ready to publish your website, use code GOODGUYS for 30% off all plans. That's durable.com/goodguys. That's durable.com, durable.com/goodguys to get started with Durable for free today. When you're ready to publish your website, use code GOODGUYS for 30% off all plans. That's durable.com/goodguys. Try it for free, then use code GOODGUYS30 for 30% off your plan. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Kachava. Folks, have you ever just, wanted to take a walk, smell the flowers, sit outside in nature, maybe go and pick a beautiful tomato off the vine, eat it? That feeling is lost, folks. It's lost. Sure, you get it, once a year? Some of us spend more time outside than others, but most of us don't have access to farms. Most of us don't have access to just go and walk around and take in nature. We feel disconnected, at least I do. I feel disconnected, and our nutrition has gotten just terrible, and we need to get back to our roots, and that is what Kachava is all about. Folks, we're talking energy, okay? Support all-day energy with 5 key vitamins and minerals. Digestion, keep things regular with fiber, probiotics, and enzymes. Strength, fuel and replenish your muscles with protein and electrolytes. Metabolism, nurture a healthy metabolism with B vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Cognition, folks, support your mind and nervous system with essential minerals. And lastly, immunity, nourish your immune system with vitamin C, zinc, and probiotics. Folks, I'm telling you, you must try Kachava. They have fantastic flavors: chocolate, vanilla, chai, matcha, coconut acai, strawberry, all while, again, improving your energy, digestion, strength, metabolism, cognition, and immunity. Kachava is a all-in-one nutrition shake that you absolutely must try. I've tried it. It's absolutely delicious, and I think you will really love it. So, folks, rewind your nutrition at Kachava.com and use code GOODGUYS. New customers get $20 off an order of 2 bags or more, now through the 31st. That's Kachava, Kachava.com/goodguys. Kachava.com/goodguys. And how do you think religion plays a role? I'm a very spiritual person. I definitely wake up every day thankful to, I'm Jewish, my God is Hashem. I have a 7-month-old baby. I wake up very happy and thankful for the life that I have. Like, how much do you think religion plays a role in that. Like if you're grateful to a higher power for what's going on in your day-to-day life, if you have maybe that doesn't have to be a higher power, I guess it could be your mom or something, but how much do you think that plays a role?
Well, I think it plays a huge role. And I can answer that question based on two things, right? So I can answer it based on my own experience as a deeply spiritual person. And I also can explain it based on research from this extraordinary woman that you should have on the show. Her name is, what is her name? Dr. Lisa from Columbia? Miller. Okay. You have got to talk to this woman. She is so freaking cool.
Dr. Lisa Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Lisa Miller at Columbia University. She has a PhD in psychology, and she runs it's like the spiritual psychology program at Columbia. And check this out. She does all this research on spirituality, religion, and neuroscience and psychology. Huh. And I love her premise. Her premise is basically, it's not a question of whether or not you are spiritual, because human beings are wired for spirituality. And spirituality is the belief that there is something bigger out there and the understanding that it is important. And they have studied the brain and spiritual experiences, everything from being in a temple, in a religious experience where you're really in awe of something that's happening, to being outside in nature, to somebody speaking in tongues, to having an orgasm, to psychedelic experiences. And if you look at the brain, when somebody's having a, quote, spiritual experience, you can't tell whether it's in a religious setting or a nature setting, or you're present for the birth of a child, like these moments of awe where the parts of your brain activate that suppress your feelings of yourself and that connect you to something larger than you in your physical body. Religion can be a very important construct for people to experience that, which is universal in all of us.
Yeah.
And so I believe that spirituality is not only part of our innate wiring, but that when you start to recognize that life isn't just about you, that there are things that matter that are so deep and important that are larger than the bills you have to pay and the headlines that are scaring you, or the, things that your aging parents are dealing with, that it can become a grounding point to make you understand that what's happening in this moment isn't going to define your whole life, that there is something larger at play that you can tap into. And that when you do, the research is very clear that people feel less depressed, they feel less anxious, they have a greater sense of hope, they find more meaning in their life. And there are lots of ways, and she's so cool and has, very, very interesting research that explains ways to bring this into your life. And I think one of the things that we're seeing right now, or at least I think about this a lot, is when we were all growing up, life was a lot different.
Yeah.
And people were more connected to their communities, and they had a place that they went to once a week to really center themselves and think about larger themes. And there wasn't so much pressure, and the cost of living wasn't as high. I mean, they'd done the research. Being a 20-year-old right now is very different than it was just even 6 years ago.
But if you watch, like, Ken Burns has this amazing 12-part Revolutionary War documentary that just came out. And what he says is,
I haven't watched it.
History doesn't repeat itself. Human nature repeats itself. And while this version of tough that we're in now, which completely agree with you, that has these challenges that we didn't have to deal with 50 years ago, 100 years ago, but there were just their own versions of challenge then. Like, the human experience has never been easy in any version.
Yes.
And sort of like our challenge, or the puzzle that's given to all of us at birth, is like, for the time in which you've been born, in which you hit the birth lottery, can you figure it the fuck out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
It's
you
interesting
navigate
because
I think you can.
Yeah.
I think you can. And, to go back to this thing about, like, one thing that you can decide to do today, and it's going to sound so stupid. This comes from both Dr. Daniel Amen, who is one of the world's leading experts on the brain. He's got clinics around the world. He's scanned 200,000 brains. This also comes from the late Dr. Jim Doty from Stanford. He's a neurosurgeon and neuroscientist who is a self-proclaimed atheist, who also happened to be the chairman of the Dalai Lama Foundation, who spent a lot of his time writing books and talking about the brain, neuroscience, and manifesting. And manifesting is just a 4-step process where you intentionally change the settings in your mind using 4 different centers of your brain intentionally to program it to help you. That's what manifesting is.
Yeah.
And there's hard science. It's not woo-woo. It works, and it works because you're training your mind to help you spot opportunities and patterns and things that are out in the world right now that if you wake up every day and you're like, my life sucks, I'm never going to get, and I've been in that place. I've been in that place where it's too late. I've fucked everything up. I'm fucked. I hate my fucking husband. I'm never going to get out of debt. I've blown my career. I can never show my face in public again. And I was wrong. And you can change your life. You can change the settings in your mind. But this one tip is so dumb, but it works. Wake up today, tomorrow, whenever you're hearing this, and just say, today's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Something good is going to happen today. And even if you go to a funeral, and so it's a sucky day.
There was a great spread.
Well,
Yes.
it could be that. It could be
Nice
that
shiva
I'm going to
after.
talk about,
Right? Fantastic.
Yeah, a
I'm
little
going to talk
Nova.
about somebody I care about.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make today a good day. And when you say that, first thing in the morning, Dr. Daniel Amen basically says you're activating the spotlight part of your brain that goes, oh, okay, we're going to make today a good day. So now we're going to scan for something good. And there's another trick that you can use to prove that this is true. Today, as you go about your day, I want you to just pay attention, and here's the assignment. I need you to just see if you can spot one heart shape somewhere. It might be a stain in the concrete in the parking lot. It might be the shape of a leaf. It might be a weird pattern in brick. I want you to just say to your brain, I'm going to find a heart somewhere today.
It's like a hidden Mickey at Disneyland.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is you're going to, like, your brain, it's called it's the RAS. It's like the reticular activating system. And you can also call this the red Acura spotter.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Because if you ever shop for a car,
Yes.
okay. So my husband is shopping for a new pickup truck.
Yeah, the red car phenomenon.
Yes, the red car phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he said, I went and drove like the Toyota, blah, blah, blah. And there was a sage green color. I swear to God, 10 minutes later in Manhattan, the sage green
Yeah.
pickup truck drove
Yeah.
by.
But let me ask Mel. 'cause
Now,
you're-
why did that happen?
You're doing well.
Why did
was
that
it
happen?
really a Toyota or was it a sage green Bentley?
Yes. It was a sage green Toyota pickup truck that had like the RS Pro thing, and it had like
Ooh,
an
the
extended
TRD
bed.
Pro.
I'm like,
That's
I
a nice
think-
truck.
It's cool.
Yes.
The TRD
It's a-
Pro.
yes.
It's a nice
cool
truck,
car.
Mel.
It's a cool car.
Dude, I saw that thing. And so I'm like, geez, there it is. So do you guys know why that happened?
No.
Okay, well, here's why that happened. So your brain, it has this like,
But I assume it's the same with seeing like today's going to be a good day, and then
Correct.
you only see good things.
correct.
Right?
But
Yeah.
you'll see some bad things, but now you'll see at least one good thing. But
Sure.
here's the Toyota phenomenon. So you have this filter in your brain that I think about it like a giant hairnet of neurons. And its entire job is to filter everything coming at you. And it blocks 99.999% of everything out because you cannot process the 73 cars that pass you in one block in Manhattan.
Mhm.
And so your brain is actively blocking it out from reaching your conscious part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. And so when Chris said to me, hey, I just test drove the sage green Toyota, and he was all excited and I'm excited for him, my filter, just like the algorithm on social media, is like, oh, they're interested in sage green Toyotas. That's
Yeah.
important. Let's change the filter. So if one drives by, we're going to let it pass the bouncer in your brain and you're going to notice it. Now, if that had happened 3 days ago, I wouldn't have seen the damn thing because I'm not thinking about it.
Mhm.
But you can change the settings in your mind by getting very clear about what's important. And the more you even activate your senses like excitement, it gives it more weight. And then your brain is trying to help you see what you want to see.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Hero Bread. Folks, do you want more fiber, more protein, less calories, less sugar, delicious tasting bread, super fluffy, limited edition croissants? Need I say more? Hero Bread is it. I don't understand. I'm going to put two different breads in front of you, okay? The regular white bread and Hero Bread, okay? Regular white bread tastes good, okay? Is horrible for you. Look at the back. Look at the back. You're not going to recognize a single ingredient, and there's going to be a load of sugar. Then you are going to pick up Hero Bread. You're going to understand the ingredients. There's going to be no sugar in them, high protein, high fiber, no crappy ingredients, and it's going to taste the same, and the texture is going to be the same. I promise you, it's the same. It's absolutely fantastic. You want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Got you covered. You want an egg and cheese? That's right. Soft, white, fluffy bread. Fantastic. Maybe you want to take it up a notch. You want to throw that egg and cheese on a croissant, a better for you croissant. They made better for you croissants. Maybe it's fajita night. Ooh, and we're making guacamole. You're going to take that beautiful chicken that you just made, the peppers, the onions, the guac, and you're going to put it onto a Hero tortilla. They make everything, folks. Everything. We're talking such a wide product range. You absolutely must go to hero.co to check out their entire selection. You literally can't go wrong. All of their products are delicious, and you are going to love all of them. And again, you would never know that it's 0 to 5 grams of net carbs and high fiber from the texture of every single one of their products are under 5 grams of net carbs. High protein. It's absolutely delicious. You will love it. And small batch drops of indulgent favorites. I spoke to you about the croissants, but did you know about their Hero Buttermilk Biscuit? That's right. Go to hero.co to see all of this. This year, hit your goals without giving up your favorite bready dishes. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order if you go to hero.co and use code GUYS at checkout. That's GUYS at hero.co. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Chewy. Folks, if you're a pet parent like me, you know about Chewy. And when they say they have everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, they're not messing around. To keep them happy, Chewy has over 100,000 products from brands my pet loves at prices I love. Food, treats, beds, you name it, they have it, and it gets shipped directly to your door in just 1 to 2 days. And not just for dogs, but also cats, birds, fish, reptiles, and more. To keep them healthy, Chewy offers pet prescriptions, pet insurance, telehealth vet visits, and even is rolling out vet clinics across the country. Speaking of not worrying, Chewy has top-tier 24/7 customer service. I can get expert advice over chat or phone day or night. Plus, if my pet or I don't love something, Chewy's 100% satisfaction guarantee lets me return it within a year, no questions asked. We just got Romeo a new little bed. I got it on Chewy. It came in under 2 days. It's sitting in my kitchen. He's been laying on it nonstop. He was laying it. He was loving it so much I thought he was dead. I went over. I poked him. I'm like, Romeo, wake up. He's loving that bed so much. I'm telling you, you can get anything on Chewy, and you should absolutely go and check out all of their products. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 off on your first order and get free shipping by going to Chewpanions, CHEWPANIONS.chewy.com/goodguys. That's chewpanions.chewy.com/goodguys to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewpanions, CHEWPANIONS.chewy.com/goodguys. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
You know, I'm a sober guy, and I've been in 12 step for 17 years. And we had this OG, this guy Bubba, who would come in, 70 years old. Pretty sure he brought a gun to the meeting, but he was like an old cowboy from Porter Ranch from California. And he used to say, every morning I wake up, I sit in my hot tub, I say to myself, somebody's going to have a good day today. It might as well be me. If you walk around with your head up your ass, a good life's going to pass you by. And it was like those kind of, it seems similar to what you're saying in Bubba speak.
Absolutely.
Of that affirmation. Yes. And then he would be like, I love my wife, Cynthia. And we'd be like, Bubba, we're drunks. We're not interested in Cynthia. But like, yeah, I totally, it was one thing I wanted to ask you too, Mel, and I'm not speaking in hyperbole here. Like I'm going to give you and your book a massive compliment, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is like, You guys were talking about religion before, right? And how the Bible can be a great access point to morality and spirituality and good thinking in certain cases. And like, I'm a sober guy. And so in 1935, this book of Alcoholics Anonymous is written, right? And it's helped millions of people. And when you look at it, there are no new ancient truths. Like, so much of what you're
Correct.
sharing, Mel, I found, is I've seen in religion, I've seen in this, in 12-step in recovery. The genius was, the miracle, in my opinion, was the packaging, is that it could relate and be inviting to someone like me, that these two guys wrote it in a way where I was like, that's me. And I say the same thing about your book, is that the miracle is the packaging, is that you took these age-old ancient truths, these things that over time we know help us navigate the social contract. And you said, I'm going to make this accessible for a new generation, a new crowd. Would you agree?
100%. And thank you for seeing that. See, the rules about life and relationship have been the same since the beginning of time. The let them theory is something that I created, and I've written this book to build a case for a modern tool, which is 4 words, let them and let me, that help you apply Stoicism, Buddhism, the Serenity Prayer, the things that you wrote about in the book, the things that your grandmother used to say at the kitchen table, the stuff that you've heard in temple. One of the reasons why this book has exploded is, first of all, other people are super annoying. They're your number one source of stress.
Yeah.
And the let them theory alleviates it, because when you learn to just say, let them, when somebody's frustrating you or hurting you or upsetting you or bothering you, you're applying Stoicism, which is the faster you give up control, the more control you gain. And the number one thing that you will never be able to control is other people, what they do, what they think, what they believe, whether or not they heal, whether or not they get sober, whether or not they change, whether or not they do what you want them to do. And every ounce of energy you spend trying to control other people or change them or wishing or judging them for when they don't is time that you're wasting, is frustration that you're feeling. And there's an easier way to live your life. There's a more peaceful way to be. Just let other people be who they are and who they're not. And then let me focus on my thoughts and actions and the way I process my feelings so that I'm proud of myself. That's it. That's it.
And that's not to say that you can't help people, right?
Oh, you
can
you
still
should
be
help
helpful,
people, I think.
But I'm saying, if you see somebody, for example,
Yes.
who you think is an alcoholic,
Yes.
and you want to help them, I'd ask
Yes.
the same question to you, Josh. You want to help them. You think that they should get sober.
Yes.
There are ways in which you still allow them to be themselves. Don't
Yes.
judge them.
Yes.
Accept them for who they are while helping them.
Yes. Well, I think Josh is the expert because Josh has gone through this dynamic. No, I'm not kidding. In his life, what I can tell you is wanting someone in your life to get sober or to be motivated or to make more money
to
or
do anything.
stop
Exactly.
dating these fucking idiots.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing to want somebody to be happy. It's a
Yes.
beautiful thing to want somebody to be healthy. That is not the problem. The problem is if you're anything like me and you get worried about people or you're a know-it-all, you cross a line.
Yeah.
And the help and the worry that you have and the help you want to provide turns into judgment.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
But a person only gets sober when they're ready to get sober for themselves. A person only changes when they're ready to change for themselves. They're not going to change for you. They're not going to change for their kids. People will only heal when they're ready to heal. And it's not going to be on your timeline. And the last thing anybody who's struggling needs is your judgment. And so it's a tricky line. And one of the things about the let them theory that is so awesome is that it's both universal and deeply personal. And so should you provide support? I personally morally think you should, but you get to choose whether or not you're providing support. You get to choose whether or not you're going to hold an intervention or you're going to pay for rehab for the first time or the second time or the third time. You get to choose if you're going to take a step back because you love the person so much and you realize you're part of the dynamic. Because what happens is we all have this fundamental need to feel in control of ourselves. You've probably felt this around your weight your whole life. People like acting like a know-it-all as if you don't know that you need to take a walk and eat less and go see a doctor.
Yeah,
Like,
people
thanks,
love- yeah.
like asshole. Like, I know. And so when somebody steps in out of love or concern and they kind of judge you and you can feel it, immediately your need to be in control of yourself is triggered. And the natural human neurological reaction is to resist everything people are telling you to do, because it's the only way you can hold on to controlling yourself and changing when you're goddamn good and ready.
Yeah.
And so the question isn't, do you offer support? The question is, how do you do it in a way that's the most effective way based on research to influence and create the conditions for someone else
Right.
to choose to change for themselves while you offer that support? Does that make sense, Josh? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
No, I think you make a great point, and I think I love what you said, creating conditions, because in my experience, and I can only speak to my experience, is that, and you talk a lot about this, Mel, it's like no one changes on a good day. No one changes on a good day, and that you have to hit a bottom to whatever version of your bottom is. Like your bottom is when you decide to stop digging, right? And I've had friends who were, in the depths of addiction, and their wives, their spouses have called me and asked me for some kind of advice. And their version of love and support is to, if you could love addiction away, like I had a great sort of sage older guy who would always say, you're here because of your mother's prayers. And I don't doubt it. But she couldn't love it away when I was in the depths of my addiction, because she's got a lot of love to give, and even that wasn't enough. And I would respectfully say to these spouses, these wives who would call me, I'd say, at some point, you are going to have to draw a boundary, and you are going to have to protect yourself and walk away. And I know that your version of love and support is nonstop love them right to the end. And I'm like, the thing that might present the most loving act you can do is say, I'm not going to engage in this anymore because it's too toxic to be around. And that might help them get closer to their bottom where they're really willing to make a change. Because as my friend says, you can tell an alcoholic something, but you can't tell them much. So yeah, I think sometimes you have to help people hit a bottom.
Well, and here's the thing that the let them theory will do. The let them theory is a tool that you use every day, all day, to help you understand, especially in these very challenging moments, what is in your control and what is not in your control. And when you say let them, you're not allowing someone to hit rock bottom. You're forcing yourself to recognize the truth of the situation that you're in.
Sure.
That I can't control this person. I can put as much love and hope and prayers into this, but ultimately I have to let them have the dignity of their own experience. I have to let them be who they are and who they're not, and they might not be ready to deal with this, or they might not be able to. And then I've got to do the second part once I recognize I'm in a situation where there's so much out of my control, and I got to just say, let them, to remind myself, I can't control another person as much as I would love to, because I think this will help them. And now I take a step back and go, well, let me focus on what I can control. I can focus on what I think about this. And I think I love this person. And I think that they're killing themselves. And I also think they're not ready yet. And I can control what I do and don't do.
Yeah.
And I can do the things I've always been doing, or I can do something different. I can pour more time and energy into this or not. I can walk away or not. I can seek help or not. But the one thing I know I can't do is I can't force this. I can tell them that, hey, the second you're ready, I'm here. I'm going to stop bringing this up. I'm going to stop pressuring you. I can see that you're not ready. And I'm here. The second you are wanting to do something, I am here. Have you thought about what you might want to do? And then I have to let me focus on my emotions. This is really challenging. And I love what you said about you can't love somebody and to be sober, because the hardest applications of the let them theory, and probably the most powerful, are with people in your life that are really challenging. Every single one of us has a family member whom we love dearly, And they're extremely challenging, whether they have an addiction or they're emotionally immature or they have a ton of crap from their past that they've never dealt with, or they have a narcissistic personality style. And most people don't want to cut other people out of their lives. They just wish there was less bullshit and tension and like toxic dynamics.
Or you're a fixer, which is a tough position to be in.
Well, most fixers, by the way,
yeah,
are fixers because when you were a little kid, you were having to make sure everybody was okay because the adults around you were not emotionally stable.
It's funny. I have the complete opposite. I have the greatest parents.
Yeah.
Greatest parents. My default is you come to me with a problem, I will fix it now.
That's not a default. That is a value. That is a skill, dude. That's awesome.
But it's only if it's well received. Josh and I talk about this all the time.
Totally.
I think it's the difference between men and women. My wife comes to me and she has a problem and she doesn't want me to solve it. And it takes a very self-aware person to understand, okay, you want a trauma dump.
Yep.
You don't want a solution, which is almost more effective than the solution that I was going to give you. You're going to tell me, here's what's wrong with my day. This went wrong. Oh, great. We're going to fire this person. We're going to hire this person. I'm going to solve your problem in 1 minute.
Yes.
But you don't want that answer.
Well, by the way,
you want me to say, I hear you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry you had a terrible day.
Yes.
Let me distract you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Well, here's a sentence you should steal.
Yeah.
Do you want me to listen or do you want my advice?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
well, because this is the dynamic between every mother-daughter,
But
too.
it's hard because as a fixer,
yes,
you see so clearly the solution to the problem that you're being met with.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like a unnecessary step to delay the inevitable of just fixing it.
But venting to you is fixing it. Because she's not
100%.
actually, it's not about work.
No,
it's about the emotions
it's
she's feeling.
selfish of me to try and fix it sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's loving to want to fix it. But
well, thank you. Do you get what I'm saying, Josh?
100%. And I think it's also like, I've heard someone say to me once, don't weaponize the truth, right? Because sometimes I felt like that with friends and stuff where I'd just be like, I'm just telling them what other people aren't willing to say, right? And people would say, if you're not, just because it's the truth and you are saying something factually true, if you're not doing it in a loving way, you're weaponizing it and it's not kind. And you might be actually rendering yourself ineffective because they don't feel like you're coming at them in a loving way. But I heard someone say, Mel, the other day, I didn't think I was manipulative because I'm nice about it. And again, like we were talking about, if you look at it on paper and you didn't have any other information, one person walks away and one person is just loving and supportive and stays to the bitter end. You look at that and go, oh, the person who walked away is cold and callous. But in reality, when talking about addiction, when talking about things that are unchangeable, that you have no control over, like I've wanted to say to those people, like, no, you not walking away is about you. Like it's your need to love this person to death, or that it's just you know, whatever things were installed as a kid where you can't draw that healthy boundary. Like it becomes more about you. So I think what Ben is saying, which I relate to, is like honoring and recognizing what Claudia needs, what your spouse needs, instead of saying, but my instinct is to do this thing that I know is so good. And trust me, you're going to love, love, love it. I try to do it to my wife all the time. And she's like, no, Josh, honor what I need and give it to me.
I think it's a male-female thing. I see it all the time.
Mother-daughter, big time.
Or mother-daughter.
I think this is a human thing because I think we could all get better at asking for what we need by saying, I had a horrible day at work. Can I vent to you for a little bit? And I just need you to listen.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my God. It would be amazing.
That would be amazing if
hot.
you got that precursor. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Good Wipes. Folks, Wet January is here. That's right. What is Wet January? Wet January is when you use a big, beautiful, wet, gorgeous Good Wipes. Huge, biodegradable, I think flushable 100%. That's 100% true. Wipe
on your booty, and this is the best, most flushable wipe you've ever seen. This is new year, new you. Leave the toilet paper in 2025. It's time to say goodbye to scratchy toilet paper and hello to clean with perfectly moist, actually cleansing Good Wipes. And in case you're somehow new to Good Wipes, they're actually flushable, made for sensitive skin, come in a variety of gorgeous, gentle scents. We're talking rosewater, shea cocoa, lavender, botanical bliss. They're super soft and extra large for your extra large booty. That's right, I called you out. I'm team wet January and February and March, and because this year, my booty is going to be the cleanest it's ever been, which means I'm going to feel the best I ever have. So cheers to wet January. You already know I have the cleanest booty this side of the Southwest, okay? I have the cleanest booty, and if you didn't know, now you know. And that's why I partnered with Good Wipes, because I believe in a clean booty. You believe in a clean booty. Wet January is here. We should all believe in clean booties. So folks, grab Good Wipes at Target or Walmart so you can upgrade your restroom ritual. As a special offer for Good Guys listeners, Good Wipes is giving you your first pack free. Buy any pack in store, text them your receipt, and get reimbursed almost immediately. For more details, head to goodwipes.com/goodguys. Again, that's goodwipes.com/goodguys to snag a free pack of Good Wipes.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at AG1. Folks, you know I am an AG1 stan. Are people still saying stan these days? And I'm telling you, there's no right time for better health. There's just now. AG1 is the easiest and most impactful habit you can implement this year. I wake up every morning, I take my 16 ounces of water, I put in my creatine, I put in my AG1, and my day is off to the races. I'm telling you, sustained energy, I feel better. I am just a better person when I drink AG1. I am. My dad loves it. My dad feels better. He has sustained energy. I turn everybody in my life onto AG1. I'm telling you, AG1 is it. It is exactly what you need. It is the opposite of complexity. We're talking 20 seconds, 1 scoop, 8 ounces of water, done. Oh, and they now have a new next-gen formula. We're talking more vitamins and minerals than ever, clinically proven to fill common nutrient gaps. This is exactly what you've been missing, folks. You got to try it. If you haven't tried it, honestly, what are you, nuts? AG1 has over 50,000 verified 5-star reviews and comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Go to drinkag1.com/goodguys to get their best offer. For a limited time only, get a free AG1 duffel bag and free AG1 welcome kit with your first subscription order, only while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/goodguys. That's drinkag1.com/goodguys. drinkag1.com/goodguys.
You know, one of the things I wanted to go back to with what you said, because I thought it was really interesting and I want to hear more about it, which is this dynamic where our refusal to see and accept people exactly as they are and as they're not creates judgment and creates problems because we're living in a fantasy of what we wish were happening.
Yes.
Versus accepting the reality of what's right in front of us and changing our response to it. And that's why it's not easy to implement the let them theory with very challenging personalities, because what it does is it forces you potentially for the first time to recognize that certain members of your family, they're not changing. And these people have always been this way. And when you say let them, you're forcing yourself to recognize the reality of who somebody is, their positives, their negatives, their limitations, their, possibilities. But then instead of thinking they need to change in order for this dynamic to shift, you realize, wait a minute, the power has always been here. I need to change. Because if I change my energy, if I change how much time I put into this, if I go in with eyes wide open, knowing this person's very narcissistic, so when they start doing that thing they always do, I'm just not going to take the bait.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what the experts tell you to do, which is gray rock, which is be very uninteresting, change the topic, walk out of the room, and you're not the target anymore. You just changed, and that changed the dynamic. And you did it through acceptance versus wishing somebody would change. And, I loved what you said too about you can't love somebody into being well. If you have somebody in your family who is mentally ill, no amount of love is going to change that.
Yeah.
Accepting who they are, and then you getting strategic about your boundaries and learning how to if you want to create room for them to be in your life, but with eyes wide open, that's what shifts things, because you're not mourning the fantasy. You're learning how to adapt to the reality. I mean, I maybe it's a Midwesterner in me. I'm just very pragmatic, and I'm shocked that it took me 54 years of doing it the exact opposite way to really figure out the simple truths about life and other people. I mean, Chris and I have been married for 30 years. I feel like we're in a second marriage.
Yeah.
Not because he changed, but because I did.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to be distracted. You said earlier that it's never been harder to be a 20-year-old. Josh then promptly said it is. It's never been easier to be a 20-year-old if you compare it to other times,
I'm
illnesses, medicine.
I'm saying there's
Everybody's
always been a
had challenges,
version of a
always.
challenge for the time in which
Yes.
you've been alive.
Yes.
So I completely agree. I think that what's unique about today is if you just turned off your phone and let less things in, it actually factually has never been easier than today. Because of everything around us, as a 20-year-old,
interesting.
it's it might be the hardest, because right now you're not having this let them theory, which I think is genius, is not one-on-one anymore. This is one on more people than you should have ever met in your lifetime.
Yes.
More information that you ever should have been exposed to. More drama, more sadness, more, because if you spend your entire day on your phone and you're on the wrong side of an algorithm and you're being hit minute after minute with catastrophe after catastrophe after catastrophe, and you're a fixer and you want to go and solve the world's problems, you're fucked. So I don't know how you apply the let them theory to social media and 20-year-olds that are addicted to their phones. But that is what makes today, they're caught in their own mind.
Or
If they
39-year-olds.
can just take a step back. Sure.
I doom scroll. I love
You
it.
said 20. Yeah, you said 20, so I picked 20. But in general, I think it's never been harder to be a human being if you're addicted to your phone and your dopamine runs off of negative news.
Fair.
So what
It's
do you
true.
do?
Well, I think it's the same thing with being addicted to anything. It's, first of all, like, you're not changing. People are addicted to it because it feels good.
Totally.
And it also is designed in a predatory way
To
to
keep
keep you on it.
Yeah.
And so give yourself a little bit of grace, because your brain is doing exactly what the platforms have designed it to do. You are a rat in a maze.
Yeah.
And admitting to yourself that you're caught in this trap, like millions and millions and millions of people around the world are, like, everyone will tell you they wish they spent less time on their phone. Everyone will tell you that they feel way better if they put it down or they have a week where they don't have access to it. The research is very, very, very clear on this. The problem is the regulation. And I do believe that these things are important, because otherwise everything becomes predatory. It's absurd that we've allowed this to happen when we have all of the research. It's absurd that phones are allowed in school. It's absurd. And we have the power to change it. We do. And so I feel, though, despite all the negativity, despite the headlines, despite the amount of time people waste brain rotting on their phone, I'm still extremely optimistic, because if you look at it in the big picture, oftentimes you need to have the thing that you really value taken away from you for you to recognize that it was important in the first place. And I hate that that is part of the human experience. But maybe what's happening, and I believe that this is true, is people are getting so sick and tired of the way that things are or their own habits on the phone that they're starting to wake up. They're starting to come out of the lull of the doom scroll. Like, at any moment you decide that you want to change your life, you can. Any moment you say, I waste too much time on my phone, I don't want to spend this much, you can figure out how to do it. I have incredible boundaries with my phone because it's never on my body. That's one rule. That there are two ways to change how you interact with your phone. Here's the first one.
Olivia, take my phone. Take my phone, Olivia.
You can't, Josh. You're a man and a husband, which is another thing that we need to talk about.
Yeah,
I think women can do this.
Thank
I don't
you,
think men
Olivia.
can
That's
do
not
this.
true. That is absolutely not true. That's complete bullshit. The research is clear. The further physically something is away from you, the less likely you'll use it.
Yes.
This is basic research around habits and systems and environment. And so for me, here's the first thing I want you to know is that we can make the changes that you want easier. So instead of relying on willpower, let's rely on systems. Let's rely on hacks. Let's rely on science. And let's figure out how to make the changes that you want easier. Let's just start there. And so one thing I want you to notice is you're just going to try this today. The next time you're standing in a line, whether you're waiting for the subway or you're standing at the grocery store or you're waiting for your burrito to, get made, I want you to practice not pulling your phone out.
Yes.
It is so painful.
Oh my God, is it painful?
It is the longest 3 minutes of your entire life. And it will wake your ass up to just how subconscious and reflexive and addictive it is.
I only fully notice how addicted I am to my phone once a year, Yom Kippur. I fast and I shut my phone. It's a 25-hour period. And let me tell you, for the first 4 hours, I am grabbing to check my phone when it's off.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing my phone, I'm looking at it. It's off. 10 minutes later, grab and look, it's off. It takes me a full 4 hours to realize that there's nothing that I can check. My phone is off.
One of the pieces of research that really struck me is that they did this thing where like the three of us are talking and we're all wired up so they can look at brain activity and we're really like connected and present. And the researcher walks over and like kind of interrupts what we're doing and talks for a minute and then puts their phone, not one of ours, their phone face down on the table. And then we go back to the questions. Our brain wiring in the regions that we are using shift.
Interesting.
All three of us are now distracted by and focused on the phone, even though we're having a conversation. That's how powerful of a presence it is. And so here's the thing I want you to understand. That little stand in line thing is just a way for you to start to build this pause in this space and become aware. The second thing is we're going to talk about how do we make it easier, and we're going to use common sense. If you're addicted to cocaine, you would not sleep next to an 8-ball.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. If you're trying to get sober, it's smart not to have beer in your refrigerator. And so thinking about how you can set up your environment, if you truly want to spend less time on your phone, to make it easier to not reach for it, you can come up with all kinds of things. Like for me, if I'm at work, it's at my desk plugged in. It's never on my body. My team will tell you, I'm constantly like, does anyone know where my phone is? Because it's not on me. And because it's not on me, I now don't reach for it.
It's so silly. Like I need a landline. Like that's what I'm missing, a landline. Like I can't not have my phone next to me just in case.
No, hold on. Here's what you tell your family. If you need me, call me.
Yeah. And then what? The phone's
Yes.
on ringer and you'll hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody calls you.
Yeah.
Unless they need you.
Yeah.
All the texts that come in all day long, they are not emergencies. But we've allowed other people's shit
I
to
like
become
that.
our priority.
Yeah, you're right.
I start every text with a 911 though. I like to give every text with an SOS. Help! I want your attention. I'm at Chipotle. What should we get?
I'm bored right now, so I'm just wondering what you're doing, and I expect you to respond. And when you don't, now I'm offended.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'm like,
It's so stupid.
I'm
Like you don't value your time and attention, and until you create this pause with your phone, and you recognize this, you won't realize how you have just pimped out your own brain. Stupid shit.
And
I have.
what else is? I'm dying to know.
Wow.
This is going to be our first interview, Mel, of 2026. Like,
Uh-huh.
when I got sober, I remember you came in and you had a couple days sober, and people would talk about having low self-esteem, and the guys with some time would be like, well, then do esteemable acts, right? And then everyone would come in spiritually bankrupt and morally crushed, and then the guys would be like, we're not talking about all that. Go clean the coffee pot. That's it. That's your job.
Yes.
Go stack the chairs. We're not going to go so deep into the depths of despair and about everything that happened. Like, here's something actionable. Boom. I promise you'll feel better for like 8 seconds having scrubbed the hell out of that coffee pot. Like, what else is actionable? Because what I see sometimes, or the trap can be, is like we have such access to so many new books and self-help and all these things, and people become affirmation machines. I'm like, you're a walking bumper sticker, my G. Or I even like, I'll see people say, let them, and I'll be like, honey, you just drink half a box of wine and screamed at the gardener. You're not letting them. Like, you're not honoring Miss Robbins. Like, I'm like, so what's actionable that people can really do? I love that you talk about that can, help start that path in 2026.
Well, I appreciate what you just said, because information just makes you smart. You can know exactly what you need to do. The secret in life is learning how to make yourself do things that are hard, that are stressful, that are anxiety provoking. And that's the skill. It's not knowledge, it's doing the damn thing. And I love the example that you gave about the coffee, because the reason why people drink is because they feel shame. So going over all the shit that you feel ashamed about, unless you're making amends with the person you did it to, is useless. It's just making you go into a deeper hole. And you want to start to act like the type of person you want to be in the future. But here's the trick. You have to do it while you're still the sad sack loser that's depressed and anxious and has bills you can't pay.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself. And so, I don't want to dismiss how hard it is to change your life, because it's grueling, it's boring, it takes a long time. There is no just medal for getting out of bed on a day when you don't feel like it, but that's the skill. If you can get your ass out of bed on the mornings when you don't want to, instead of picking up the phone and doom scrolling for an hour and rotting in your bed and then going back to sleep, if you can get up on those mornings, you now have the skill that you need in order to create anything over time. Because motivation is garbage. No one's going to come and do anything for you. If you want your life to change, it's your responsibility to change it. And the mistake I made for years is I thought that at some point motivation would hit. At some point the confidence would come. The truth is, you act first, then you feel motivated. You act first, then the confidence builds. You act first, then you start to feel a little better about yourself. Not because you're thinking about exercising, but because you see that you did it. And here's a little trick from Dr. K. He's a Harvard-trained psychiatrist that specializes in gaming addictions. I learned more about motivation from this guy. I mean, holy cow. Your brain is wired naturally to just avoid doing anything that's hard. That's how your brain is wired. We are wired to move naturally towards what feels easy. So knowing that, here's his trick. Let's say that you're not going to drink today, or let's say you're going to go and exercise today. Both things you don't feel like doing, both things that feel hard, way easier to sit on the couch, way easier to grab the beer. You're going to say to yourself, I know that it sucks to exercise. I know that this is very hard, and I'm going to just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And when you say that out loud, I know that you want a drink right now. I know that this is hard, and we are not going to drink today. We're going to grab the other thing today. We're going to drink the water. We're going to have the iced tea. That's what we're doing. And I know it's hard. You are telling your brain, I got it. I got it. You're doing your job. You're trying to make me do the easy thing, but we're going to do the hard thing. And almost instantaneously, that resistance that you feel internally starts to lower. As you move towards the gym, you are now doing something that's hard. And there's a lot of research. This is super cool. There's a lot of research that because you've been wasting so much dopamine doing the easy shit, grabbing the phone, eating that terrible food, you are draining all of those reserves on the stuff that's so dumb first thing in the morning. You don't have any left. If you can do a hard thing first thing in the morning, whether that's get out of bed on the days you don't feel like it, or get your butt out the door for a 10-minute walk, even though it's raining, doing it first thing builds more and kind of creates this momentum. And you know that. Like if you ever hang out with a friend that's like super annoying and motivated, and they're like, come on, get up at 6 o'clock. We're going for the, you're like, oh my God, can we just like have a cup of
Josh?
Yes, exactly. But how do you feel after he makes you go do that thing?
No, he's right. Josh, he's in a great workout routine. He's, look at him. I mean, you can see his arms from here. They're popping out of his shirt.
I didn't wear the right shirt for that.
and we constantly talk about it. I just like, when I'm in the groove and I'm working out, great. I'm out of the groove.
So what? Got it.
No, so I need to wake up and I need to acknowledge the fact that it is fucking
sucks.
hard and nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, and I'm doing it
You don't want
anyway.
to do it. You don't want to do it, but I'm doing it anyway.
So the night before, pick out your exercise clothes.
Yes.
Lay them on the floor of your closet.
Yes.
That way, when you walk into your closet or you walk up to your closet, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wrestle with, do I feel like getting my gym clothes on or should I just stand? No, they're right there. Okay, I'm pulling them on. I made it easier. If you're going to do a workout, one of the things that kills me is if I have not pre-planned a workout. This is how susceptible I am to failing. Like if I'm traveling and I'm going to a hotel gym, if I walk into the gym first thing in the morning and I'm looking around, I will walk right back out because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. If I go check into a hotel, I go to the gym first with my normal clothes on. I walk around, what's here, what time do I have tomorrow morning, and I pre-plan the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
I am 10 times more successful because I have removed one of the decisions and I've made it easier to wake up. There's my dumb clothes on the floor, pull them on. There's my water bottle. I filled it up last night. Oh, I'm going to the gym and I know that I'm just going to do that 30, 12, 30 thing on the treadmill because I already checked it out.
Yeah.
And so that's a way that you can work with yourself instead of constantly having to muster up willpower. Make it easier. Set up the environment so you can take away the decisions that normally derail you.
So before we get to our marquee segment, what do you know?
Yes, let's do it.
It's 2026. We all want to have a great year.
Yes.
We want it to be our best year yet. You
Yes.
mentioned that you and your husband
Yes.
have something that
Yes.
you do before the new year that
Yes.
leads us properly
Yes.
into the new year. So
Yes.
what can everybody do
I love this.
this year?
We've been doing this since 2004. We do this every year. And anytime I go through a major life change, I'll do this in the middle of the year. It's 6 questions based on research. And the most important thing to understand about setting yourself up for success is I want you to think about goals as if you're just creating a set of directions. Okay.
Mhm.
And in order to create directions for where you want to go, mathematically speaking, you have to have 2 data points. Yes, you need to know where you want to go, but you also need to know your starting point. Because let's say I'm coming to your house and I call you, I'm like, oh my God, I know I can't find you. Can you help me? What are you going to ask me?
Where are you?
Boom. So what most people do as a mistake at the end of every year is they're like, fuck this year. I just want a clean slate. Let's get healthy. Let's do this. But you don't actually have where you are. So you're going to ask yourself 6 questions. And the first 3 help you understand what happened this year because who you are right now is very different than last year. Different amount of time, different lessons, different learnings. So the 3 questions are this: what were the lows? What were the highs? What were the lessons? And the way that you answer these questions is not from memory. Pull out your camera roll on your phone or social media and your calendar. And I want you to sit down and go all the way back 12 months. And I want you to go through all your photos. You'll be shocked at how much happened this year. You forgot so much stuff and you need that data to understand where you are right now. So what are the lows? Write them all down. What were the highs? You're going to see like, oh God, like I saw my friends a lot, or maybe you didn't. Maybe that was a low. Oh shit, dad's getting old. That's a low. Oh, like I was really sick because I didn't take care of, like you're going to see all this stuff. And then once you do the lows and the highs with all your photos, you go, well, what are the lessons? And you have so much wisdom to extract from this year. I worked too much. I wasn't ambitious enough. I didn't see my friends enough. Wow, I was the only pictures where I'm smiling, I'm outside. Interesting data point. So now that we know the lows, the highs, the wisdom, we know where you are. Now we can look forward. And to look forward, we're going to use a planning exercise that every major executive team in the top companies in the world use as a business planning tool. It is dead simple. It's super accurate, and it's called Stop, Start, Continue. That's it. This year, in the next 12 months, what am I going to stop doing? And you now know the answer because you just extracted data from the last 12 months. What am I going to start doing? And my recommendation is pick one main thing, because another way that we screw ourselves over is you pick 15 things and then you do not focus on anything. Just pick one thing that you're going to start doing this year based on everything you learned last year. And because you're now standing in reality, if this is a year where your dad is dying, what you're going to start doing is very different than that year that everybody's healthy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you're making these goals based on where you are. And I want you to pick one thing. What are you going to start doing? And now here's the thing everybody forgets. What are you going to continue doing? You did so many amazing things this year. Please make part of your plan in the next 12 months a reminder of the things that are working and to not forget those things and not take your eye off the ball. And so that is the 6 questions. It is shocking how it helps you. And then back to the original thing we talked about. Remember the Sage Green Toyota?
Mm-hmm.
By sitting down and going through this exercise, you are signaling to your mind what is important, and you are actively changing the settings in your brain and the way your mind filters the world to get the red car effect, so that your mind starts to spot opportunities for you to move towards those things. Isn't that cool?
It's start, stop, continue.
Yeah. And
everybody should do that.
Everybody
can
should do it. And
I love it.
And if you don't mind, you can cut this out. We do a podcast episode every year. And as a thank you to our global audience, we give you a 20-page workbook for free.
Amazing.
If you go to melrobbins.com/best year, you can download it.
Why would we cut that out? It's
Well,
amazing.
because it's a
plug
free
machines.
thing as a
Great,
thank you.
Love
good.
to shill.
By the way, we I was going to say, we haven't even gotten to plugging the book.
Well, you don't need to buy the book. You like literally just use Let Them and Let Me. If it works and you want to go deeper, buy the book for your family because it will bring you together.
They're going to buy the book and they're going to get the free 20 pages. And it's fantastic.
Take advantage of it. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because there's a podcast episode that goes with it where I go deep in the research around each question and how to think about what you're seeing in your camera roll. And then I do the exercise alongside with you. Yeah.
Start, stop, continue,
Don't you
Josh.
love that? It's
I love
so simple.
I love it. So easy.
What are you nuts?
Okay, perfect. What are you nuts is
I know this.
People, places, and things, gripes of humanity. What's going on? What's wrong? I will go first. I was recently at a Knicks game and I saw a couple in front of me, probably mid-50s, filming the walk-up intro of the Knicks. Everybody's cheering. They come out. They're filming. They're filming the screen. They're going back. They're filming each other. And I'm sorry. If you're sitting where they're sitting, this isn't their first basketball game. Okay, they're not in section 400. They're sitting 2 rows from the court.
Whoa.
And this is
Wow.
This is a what are you nuts?
Wow.
Now, this is the equivalent, sorry to be such a pessimist, of the person who's filming fireworks on the 4th of July. You are never going to go into your phone and watch this video. I think it's completely nuts. Put down your phone and just watch the intro. Just watch the fireworks. Just enjoy time with your husband, with your wife. You are never going to watch it. What are you, nuts? Stop filming things that are completely inconsequential.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I think that's a good one.
Do you have one? Josh, you want to go?
I do.
Okay, you go.
Yes.
Well,
Okay. So we got this nomination for the Golden Globes.
Okay.
I've never been on a red carpet in my life.
Okay.
I live in Vermont. I'm smart enough to know that I can't wear Birkenstocks and Carhartts to this thing.
By the way, you can.
But yesterday, while I was here in New York, I had 2 hours. And so I went to a couple super fancy stores. And first of all, I had a massive crying meltdown that brought me back to prom shopping with my daughters at the Natick Mall in Nordstrom's where they couldn't find a dress and were having a panic attack. And I felt like that person. But what are you nuts? The people and what they were wearing in these crazy, expensive, like couture high-end stores, you're in Uggs and ripped, tight sweatpants, and your hair is like hanging down like a nest, and you are wearing a crop top, and your belly's hanging out at a place where the handbags are $5. What are you, nuts? Did you look in the mirror?
So good.
That you're walking into a place like this that has a red rope? Or do you have no self-respect
No.
for anybody?
No.
That you left the house like this? And now you're parading around a store where people are wearing gloves, like, little nice velvet. Like, what are you, nuts?
Belly shirts are what are you nuts in general. Completely agreed. Josh, what's yours?
My what are you nuts is the other day I was at the gym, my beloved Equinox, which I love, but they can't control all the members. And this is a true let them experience. There was a man in the locker room and I was letting him, he was blow drying his undercarriage. That's right, Mel. He had a foot up.
Oof. He was?
He had a foot up on
That's
something.
a great
and he was
idea.
just getting the nooks and crannies of himself.
Oh my
bad.
God.
I was like,
Hold
hey,
on a
dog,
second.
like a little moisture never hurt anyone. Stop it.
Especially if it's hot.
But hold on a second. Can we talk about this? So, what are you, nuts in public? Yes. But that's a good idea because I wonder if part of the stank comes from watching yourself, and it's the moisture, and if you haven't trimmed, and it rubbing against your pants and your underwear. And
gosh,
I think that's actually a good idea to do in public or privately.
She really walks the walk. She lives what she
it.
preaches.
I love it.
I might have to try this.
I'm sure. Let me know how it
It
goes.
might feel really good, actually. Like, why have I not thought of this before?
You keep us posted.
I
You keep
will.
us
I
posted.
won't send a video,
have
but
to.
I will keep you posted. Nobody wants to see that. Trust me. I don't want to see that. I just want to do it. It sounds really good.
The great Mel Robbins, The Let Them Theory. Where can we buy the book?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Just buy
Look
it
at
for
that.
your family. You're so sick of your family, turn them over to me.
Okay.
I'll take care of them.
Book is available everywhere. Get the free 20 pages, melrobbins.com. Folks, this episode's been 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you, nuts?
What are you, nuts?
Listen to us wherever you get your podcast.
You know what I loved about you
Yeah.
guys? Like, I was like bracing for just slapstick and, blah, 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 blah. And I really love how honest and important what you shared is.
Thank you.
No, I really do. Like I'm really I think like I really think that some of the things that you guys talked about are really going to help the person listening, and it'll help them with somebody in their life that may be struggling with something if they're not the one who is. And so I really just appreciated where this went because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen.
Thank you. Well, that's the outro. Listen to more of this.
Yes.
This is a good thing.
Yes. We are a Golden Globe never nominated podcast.
No, not yet.
Not necessarily. Not
And what
necessarily.
you got to do is watch more episodes. They're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Share our clips, Instagram and TikTok. Mondays and Thursdays, folks. We will see you next time. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks,
Of course.
Mel.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's awesome.